B&B spoilers. Electra grows suspicious. Contacts cops about Dylan and Luna? This week on The Bold and the Beautiful, Electra Forrester is on a mission. Her new bestie Dylan is taking over her life. And come to think of it, we don't know anything about her. Is Dylan keeping a wild secret? Hayes' former art teacher showed up on Electra's doorstep late last year and announced she was the driver who hit and killed Luna Nozoa, Lisa Yamada. Electra Forrester was so thrilled that Luna was dead and gone. She didn't ask any more questions. In fact, no one ever bothered to check her story. Keep reading to find out. Here's what's coming up next on the CBS soap. Dylan's taking over Electra's life. The Bold and the Beautiful viewers were as shocked as Electra when her man, Will Spencer Jr., Crew Morrow, moved Dylan into his guest room. This week on the soap, Dylan will encroach on her at her job next. Electra has worked years to earn her spot at Forrester Creations, and Steffi will give Dylan a job this week at FC. When Electra has to deal with Dylan at home and at work, she starts to grow suspicious of her new bestie. Bold and the Beautiful spoilers hint that Electra might even contact the LAPD and ask them about the night that Luna Nozoa was hit and killed on the highway. Is she going to find out more than she expected? The truth will come out eventually. Several rumors were floating around claiming that Luna was still alive, and Dylan is the one who helped her fake her death. Some fans think that Dylan made up the story and claimed a murder she didn't commit to get closer to the Forrester family. The sun-drenched beaches of Malibu have long been a backdrop for romance and high-stakes drama on The Bold and the Beautiful. But as we move into January 2026, a chilling shadow has fallen over the surf. For Electra Forrester and Will Spencer, what should have been a period of young love and new beginnings has transformed into a psychological maze of suspicion, guilt, and very sad news. The heart of the tragedy lies in the complicated web surrounding Dylan, the seemingly sweet preschool teacher, and the ghost of Luna Nozoa. While the town believes the lunatic reign of terror ended on a foggy night in November, the fallout is only just beginning. The weight of a secret, Dylan's dark truth. For weeks, the narrative on B&B has centered on the accidental death of Luna Nozoa. As fans recall, Luna was fleeing from the authorities when she was mowed down by a vehicle just outside the beach house. For a while, the driver remained a mystery until Dylan, Sidney Bullock, made a tearful, soul-crushing confession to Electra. Dylan revealed that she was the one behind the wheel that fateful night. Tormented by the memory of being held hostage by Luna, Dylan claimed the collision was a tragic accident born of panic and poor visibility. Electra, being the compassionate Forrester she is, offered Dylan a shoulder to cry on and even encouraged Will to let the homeless art teacher move into their guest house. But as the calendar turns to mid-January, that kindness is starting to look like a massive mistake. Electra is growing suspicious, and the sad news hitting the airwaves suggests that the bond between these two women is about to shatter. Electra's growing suspicion. Is Dylan the new Luna? The red flags are starting to wave frantically in the California breeze. Since moving into the beach house, Dylan has become a permanent fixture in Will and Electra's lives, perhaps a bit too permanent. The bed test and the outdoor shower. Electra's unease began when she caught Dylan getting a little too comfortable in her new digs. More concerning was the look on Dylan's face as she watched Will from the window. Forrester Creations' intrusion. In a shocking move, Steffi Forrester gave Dylan a job at Forrester Creations. While Dylan is enthused, Electra is far from happy. Sharing a home was one thing. Sharing a workspace is another. The mental break. Spoilers hint that Dylan may be suffering a mental break. The trauma of being bound and gagged by Luna, followed by the act of killing her, has left her on fragile ground. Electra is starting to see parallels she doesn't like. Is Dylan truly a victim of circumstance, or is she weaving her way in to steal Electra's life, much like Luna tried to do? A bold move. Contacting the cops. The today very sad news teaser points toward a dramatic confrontation. Electra, unable to shake the feeling that Dylan is hiding something more sinister about the night Luna died, reportedly takes a step that could change everything. She contacts the police. Rumors suggest Electra reaches out to Deputy Chief Baker to revisit the details of the hit-and-run. Why? Because Electra is starting to wonder if the accident was actually a calculated move. The theory: did Dylan recognize Luna in the fog and choose not to hit the brakes? Was it an act of revenge for the beach house horror Dylan endured? If Electra discovers that her friend and house guest is a cold-blooded killer who used accident as a cover, the betrayal will be unbearable. This isn't just about justice. It's about the safety of Will Spencer. The ghost of Luna. Is she really dead? While the show has officially declared Luna dead, B&B fans know that a bodiless death in Malibu is rarely permanent. The fan theories: some viewers are convinced Luna survived or that the body identified wasn't hers. The pregnancy factor. Before her death, Luna claimed to be pregnant with Will's child. If she is alive, she is out there somewhere, baking Will's baby and waiting for the perfect moment to return and reclaim her destined love. The tragedy for Electra is twofold. She is living with the woman who killed her rival, but she might also be living with a woman who is becoming her new rival. What's next? A love triangle or a crime scene? As we head deeper into the week of January 12th to 16th, the tension at the beach house is at a breaking point. Dylan's obsession. Will Dylan's innocent crush on Will, or perhaps even Finn, turn into a full-blown obsession? The police investigation. If Electra's call to the cops triggers a new probe, Dylan could find herself trading the beach house for a prison cell. Will's dilemma. Will Spencer has proven his commitment to Electra, but his kindness to Dylan is putting his relationship at risk. If he finds out Dylan lied about the accident, he'll have to face the fact that he brought a dangerous woman into Electra's sanctuary. The Bold and the Beautiful is setting the stage for a heart-wrenching January. Between Carter and Daphne's engagement and the return of R.J. Forrester, the drama is reaching a fever pitch. But for Electra, the very sad news is the realization that her home is no longer a safe haven. As we head deeper into the week of January 12th to 16th, the tension at the beach house is at a breaking point. Dylan's obsession. Will Dylan's innocent crush on Will, or perhaps even Finn, turn into a full-blown obsession? The police investigation. If Electra's call to the cops triggers a new probe, Dylan could find herself trading the beach house for a prison cell. Will's dilemma. Will Spencer has proven his commitment to Electra, but his kindness to Dylan is putting his relationship at risk. If he finds out Dylan lied about the accident, he'll have to face the fact that he brought a dangerous woman into Electra's sanctuary. The Bold and the Beautiful is setting the stage for a heart-wrenching January. Between Carter and Daphne's engagement and the return of R.J. Forrester. Today's very sad news shakes the world of The Bold and the Beautiful as fear, suspicion, and heartbreak collide in a storyline that could permanently change several lives. What begins as a quiet unease inside Electra's mind quickly spirals into a chilling realization, one that may push her to take a step she never imagined, calling the police about Dylan and Luna. This isn't just another misunderstanding. This is the kind of slow-burning dread that creeps into your bones, the kind that tells you something is deeply, dangerously wrong. And as Electra connects the dots, the fallout could be devastating for everyone involved. A feeling Electra can't shake. Electra has always trusted her instincts. In a world filled with manipulation, half-truths, and carefully crafted lies, she survived by listening to that quiet voice inside her. Lately, though, that voice has been screaming. At first, it was subtle. A strange look from Dylan. A conversation that abruptly stopped when she entered the room. Luna's nervous smiles that didn't quite reach her eyes. Small things, easy to dismiss if you wanted to stay comfortable. But Electra can't ignore the growing pit in her stomach. Something isn't right. And the saddest part? Electra doesn't want to believe the truth she's inching toward. She doesn't want to suspect people she once defended, people she once believed were misunderstood rather than malicious. But denial has a cost, and Electra is starting to fear that waiting too long could put innocent lives at risk. Dylan's darker side comes into focus. Dylan has always been complicated, brooding, intense, and emotionally guarded. Some found him intriguing. Others found him unsettling. Electra once believed his rough edges came from pain, not cruelty. Now she's questioning everything. Recent events have forced her to look at Dylan through a different lens. His temper seems closer to the surface. His stories don't always line up. And there's a cold calculation behind his eyes when he thinks no one is watching. What truly rattles Electra is the pattern she begins to see. Dylan always seems to be nearby when things go wrong. He knows things he shouldn't know. He reacts too calmly to chaos, as if he anticipated it. And when Electra gently presses him for answers, his responses feel rehearsed, defensive, almost threatening. For the first time, Electra wonders if Dylan isn't just troubled, but dangerous. Luna's role: victim, accomplice, or something worse. If Dylan is the storm, Luna is the mystery at its center. Luna's vulnerability once inspired sympathy. She appeared fragile, lost, and desperate for connection. But Electra is beginning to question whether that fragility is real or carefully performed. Luna's behavior has shifted in unsettling ways. She contradicts herself. She covers for Dylan too quickly. And worst of all, she seems terrified, not of what Dylan might do to others, but of what will happen if she speaks out. Is Luna being manipulated, controlled, or is she willingly protecting secrets that could destroy lives? Electra's heart breaks at the thought that Luna may be trapped in something far darker than anyone realizes. Yet, that heartbreak doesn't erase the danger. If Luna knows the truth and stays silent, her silence becomes a weapon. And that's when Electra starts to understand the terrifying reality. Good intentions don't stop bad outcomes. The moment everything changes, the turning point comes unexpectedly. Electra overhears a conversation she was never meant to hear, or pieces of one. Names are mentioned. A timeline doesn't make sense. There's panic in Luna's voice and a chilling calm in Dylan's reply. That's when Electra freezes, because suddenly all the puzzle pieces snap into place. What she's been sensing isn't paranoia. It's not jealousy or stress or imagination. It's truth. And that truth carries a weight so heavy it nearly knocks the breath from her lungs. Someone could get seriously hurt. Or worse. Electra realizes that staying silent would make her complicit. And for a woman who has fought so hard to be honest, to be brave, to do the right thing even when it hurts, there's only one choice left. A call that could destroy lives. Calling the police isn't a decision Electra takes lightly. She knows what it means in Los Angeles. Investigations, interrogations, reputations ruined before facts are even confirmed. And if she's wrong, she could lose everything: friends, trust, credibility. But if she's right, then not calling could mean blood on her hands. With trembling fingers and a heart full of dread, Electra considers picking up the phone. She thinks of the people she could save. She thinks of Luna, trapped in fear. She thinks of Dylan, spiraling deeper into something he may not be able to escape. And she thinks of the truth, how it always finds a way to surface, no matter how deeply it's buried. This call won't just bring cops into Dylan and Luna's lives. It will rip the bandage off every secret they've tried to protect. The emotional fallout begins. Even before the police get involved, the emotional damage is already done. Electra is haunted by guilt. She mourns the version of Dylan she believed in. She grieves the friendship she thought she had with Luna. And she struggles with the loneliness that comes from being the only one willing to say, "Something is wrong here." Meanwhile, Dylan senses the shift. He notices Electra pulling away, watching more closely, trusting less. His paranoia grows. His temper shortens, and that makes him even more dangerous. Luna, caught between fear and loyalty, begins to crack. Tears come easier, sleep becomes impossible, and the pressure of holding onto secrets threatens to break her entirely. This isn't just sad news, it's tragic, because every character involved is already losing something they can never get back. Could this end in arrests or a cover-up? As rumors begin to swirl, fans are left asking the big questions. Will Electra actually go through with contacting the police? If she does, will the authorities take her seriously? And what happens if Dylan and Luna find out before the cops do? There's also the terrifying possibility that Dylan could try to silence Electra before she speaks. Or that Luna, pushed too far, might confess everything in a moment of emotional collapse. One thing is certain. Once the cops are involved, there's no turning back. Truth will come out, secrets will explode, and lives will be permanently altered. A storyline fueled by fear and heartbreak. What makes this storyline especially painful is how realistic it feels. The Bold and the Beautiful isn't just telling a tale of crime or betrayal. It's exploring the agony of realizing someone you trusted may be capable of terrible things. Electra's journey isn't heroic in the traditional sense. It's quiet. It's heavy. It's filled with doubt and sorrow. And that's why it hurts so much to watch. She doesn't want to be right, but she may have no choice. What comes next? As this very sad chapter unfolds, viewers should brace themselves for intense emotional scenes, shocking revelations, and consequences that will ripple through the canvas for months. Will Electra's courage save lives, or cost her everything? Will Luna finally break free from Dylan's shadow? And is Dylan already past the point of redemption? One phone call could answer all those questions and destroy the fragile illusion of safety forever. What comes next? As this very sad chapter unfolds, viewers should brace themselves for intense emotional scenes, shocking revelations, and consequences that will ripple through the canvas. Today's news coming out of the Bold and the Beautiful universe is nothing short of heartbreaking. What began as subtle concern has now spiraled into a chilling reality. Dylan is taking over Electra's life, piece by piece, and the emotional fallout is devastating. Fans who once rooted for Electra's strength and independence are now watching her slowly disappear under Dylan's tightening grip. This isn't just another troubled romance or manipulative friendship. This is a quiet, creeping takeover, and it's leaving devastation in its wake. From the outside, Dylan still manages to present a calm, charming facade. But beneath that surface, something far more sinister is unfolding. And tragically, Electra is right at the center of it. A slow descent no one wanted to see. The most painful part of this story is how slowly it happened. There was no explosive moment, no obvious red flag that screamed danger right away. Instead, Dylan's control seeped in gradually, so subtly that even Electra herself didn't realize she was losing control of her own life. At first, Dylan's involvement seemed caring. He offered advice, checked in frequently, and positioned himself as Electra's biggest supporter. To those around them, it looked like concern. To Electra, it felt like safety. But now, in hindsight, those early gestures feel far more calculated. Dylan began inserting himself into every aspect of Electra's world. Her work decisions, her friendships, even her daily routines. He knew where she was, who she was talking to, and what she was thinking before she even said it out loud. What once felt like closeness now feels like suffocation. And the saddest part? Electra didn't see it coming. Electra's voice is fading. One of the most alarming developments is how much Electra has changed. The confident, outspoken woman fans came to admire is barely recognizable. She hesitates now. She second-guesses herself. She looks to Dylan before making even the smallest decisions. Those closest to her have noticed it too. Electra no longer argues her point with conviction. She backs down quickly, often saying things like, "Dylan thinks it's better this way," or "Dylan says I should wait." Her opinions are no longer fully her own. They're filtered through Dylan's perspective. This loss of autonomy is devastating to watch. It's not just about control, it's about identity. Dylan isn't merely influencing Electra. He's rewriting who she is. Isolation, Dylan's most dangerous weapon. Perhaps the most tragic element of Dylan's takeover is the way Electra has become isolated from everyone who cares about her. Old friendships have quietly faded. Conversations go unanswered. Invitations are declined with vague excuses. And somehow Dylan is always there. He subtly undermines those around her, planting seeds of doubt without ever appearing overtly cruel. A raised eyebrow when a friend's name is mentioned. A casual comment questioning someone's loyalty. A suggestion that they don't really understand you like I do. Over time, Electra has begun to believe it. Now, Dylan is her primary confidant, her emotional anchor, and her decision-maker. The walls around her world have closed in, and Dylan holds the key. Red flags are everywhere and too late. Viewers have been screaming at their screens as the warning signs pile up. Dylan's possessiveness is no longer subtle. His need for control is growing more intense, more urgent. He checks Electra's phone. He questions her whereabouts. He gets visibly uncomfortable when she asserts independence, even in the smallest ways. When Electra recently hinted at wanting space, Dylan didn't respond with understanding. Instead, he guilted her, twisting her need for autonomy into a personal betrayal. The emotional manipulation was chilling and heartbreakingly effective. Electra apologized. That moment alone spoke volumes. The emotional toll is crushing. What makes this storyline especially sad is the emotional weight Electra is carrying. She looks exhausted, drained, torn between the growing unease in her gut and the emotional bond Dylan has engineered so carefully. She knows something isn't right, but she's terrified to confront it. Dylan has positioned himself as the one constant in her life, the one person she can't live without. The idea of pushing back feels overwhelming. What if she's wrong? What if she loses him? What if she's truly alone? That fear is exactly what Dylan relies on. Those around Electra are growing desperate. Meanwhile, concern is mounting among those who still see the truth. If friends and family sense something is terribly wrong. But every attempt to reach Electra seems to push her further away. Any criticism of Dylan is met with defensiveness. Any question about her happiness is brushed aside. Electra insists she's fine, even as her eyes tell a different story. There's a heartbreaking helplessness in watching someone you love slip away, especially when they don't realize they're being controlled. And that helplessness is becoming unbearable for those who care about Electra. Is Dylan slipping up? Despite how tightly Dylan seems to have wrapped Electra in his control, cracks are beginning to show. His temper flares more quickly now. His need to dominate conversations has become more obvious. His mask of calm confidence slips at unexpected moments. Electra has noticed, if only subconsciously. There are brief flashes of doubt in her eyes. Moments when she pauses, as if remembering who she used to be. Those moments are fleeting, but they matter. They suggest that Dylan's control, while strong, may not be unbreakable. Still, time is not on Electra's side. A tragedy still unfolding. What makes today's news so painful is that there's no clear rescue in sight. Dylan isn't being exposed yet. Electra isn't fighting back yet. And every day that passes allows Dylan to sink his influence deeper. This isn't a dramatic downfall. It's a slow erosion. Fans are left watching, hearts heavy, hoping that Electra finds the strength to reclaim her life before it's completely consumed. But the road ahead looks dark, and the emotional damage is already profound. The question that haunts everyone, the most haunting question remains. Will Electra realize the truth before it's too late? Dylan's takeover isn't just about control, it's about rewriting reality. And the longer Electra stays under his influence, the harder it will be for her to remember who she was before him. Today's very sad news serves as a sobering reminder that the most dangerous threats don't always arrive loudly. Sometimes they come quietly, disguised as love, concern, and protection, until there's nothing left but silence and loss. For now, all fans can do is watch, hope, and brace themselves for what may be one of the most emotionally devastating storylines The Bold and the Beautiful has delivered in a long time. Fans are left watching, hearts heavy, hoping that Electra finds the strength to reclaim her life before it's completely consumed. But the road ahead looks dark, and the emotional damage is already profound. The question that haunts everyone, the most haunting question remains: will Electra realize the truth before it's too late? Dylan's takeover isn't just about control, it's about rewriting reality. And the longer Electra stays under his influence, the harder it will be for her to remember who she was before him. Today's very sad news serves as a sobering reminder that the most dangerous threats don't always arrive loudly. Sometimes they come quietly, disguised as love, concern, and protection, until there's nothing left but silence and loss.